Hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We are going to be talking about Gold Canyon Mrs. Claus's Kitchen. Now, this is my first review of a Gold Canyon candle here on my channel. If you caught my haul video that I did last week, I mentioned that this is a brand that I was familiar with many moons ago. In fact, this used to be like an MLM type of brand. I think they were pretty prominent over here in the desert Southwest. I know that Gold Canyon, actually, Gold Canyon is an area in Arizona. It's just a little bit east of the Phoenix metro area, in kind of the mountains as you're heading up towards the White Mountains. But Gold Canyon was a brand that was pretty well known in these parts here. And like I said, they were like an MLM. I actually sold their candles for a short period of time, although don't think anything, you guys, really. It was mainly because there were a couple of fragrances of theirs that I really loved. And I kind of just sold them just so I could get a discount on them at that time. I am not a great salesperson. I will just let you guys know. Like it's just not my skill in life. However, this brand did go, they went out of business. The original Gold Canyon, I believe, went out of business in 2020, and then they were recently repurchased a couple of years ago and relaunched. Now, back in the day when I used to sell the brand, they've always been kind of known for this beautiful faceted glass. I really love the packaging, but they used to have their vessels available in like a larger 2-wick format, which truthfully, I think I'm missing that. At this time, I believe on the website, the only format that these are available are like in this 3-wick. I honestly didn't even know that they had come back around until I saw my friend Amy over at Beloved Fragrance Finds. She did a little bit of a haul, and it happened to be around Black Friday. So I purchased 4 candles at that time. They were on sale for $17.99. I do believe that these retail for around $30. They are 3 wicks. Now, there's only 13 ounces of wax in here. So that's a little bit less than like your 14 ounces, 14 and a half ounces that you would get, say, with like your Bath and Body Works or your Goose Creek or Yankee 3 wicks. But these are supposed to be 100% soy wax candles. And they're marketing a lot of these as like the original fragrance that a lot of people knew from the original Gold Canyon. So I purchased this candle because this was a fragrance that I remembered really enjoying. Like I said, many years ago, I think that this was a fragrance that I loved. I'm going to say it was circa like 2010. I really am trying to think back, and I don't believe I had my son yet. I know that I had my daughter, and my daughter's getting ready to turn 17 in February, and my son just turned 14. So it's somewhere in that little time frame. But anyways, you guys, let's go ahead and talk about this fragrance, what my burn experience is. You can see I'm not yet even quite at the halfway point, and we're going to talk about that. So this specific candle does have a pour date of May 20th, 2025. We have fragrance notes listed for Mrs. Claus's Kitchen as being brown sugar, maple syrup, and warm vanilla. So very much in line, I would say, with like Goose Creek and Bath and Body Works. They have chosen to give us just very basic fragrance notes, which honestly, sometimes I appreciate that. I like it when candle companies kind of boil it down to like, hey, these are the main notes you're going to be smelling. Because while I appreciate like maybe the more transparency, I would say, of brands, say like Kringle and even to some degree Yankee, they can really get out there in the weeds in terms of listing all of their fragrance notes. And then sometimes I just end up really confused about like, what should I expect this candle to smell like? So this candle on cold, and what I remember it smelling like, this is a very sweet brown sugar and maple type of fragrance. I do feel like the fragrance description that Gold Canyon gives is quite accurate. It is brown sugar, it is maple syrup. There is a little bit of vanilla in there, but again, this is definitely more brown sugar and syrup. Now, is the maple note in here as well done as I would say like Kringle does their maple note? No, I don't think it's as authentic. It is definitely more of an artificial maple note. The brown sugar note in here, I am going to say, is maybe more in line with like Bath and Body Works take on brown sugar, which to my nose can sometimes come across a little bit scorched. And I am going to tell you guys, unfortunately, when I am burning this candle, that is the fragrance note that my nose is starting to detect, that I don't remember detecting like I said, what was that? At least 15 years ago. We're just going to say 15 years ago, right? To be on the safe side here. I don't remember this candle really smelling scorched. Something about this one, you guys, is not hitting my nose right. Now, it is either that my fragrance preferences have changed, or the other thing that I think what I'm not liking here, the wax smells a little bit weird, which is kind of strange because truthfully, you guys, 100% soy wax to my nose, usually I don't smell that a candle smells like soy wax. I know that there are some people who say that they're like, oh no, that I can smell that it's a soy wax candle. But for me, I definitely I have that kind of experience more so with like a paraffin blend. Like I can smell the quote unquote waxiness in Yankee candles, and I can smell that as well in Bath and Body Works candles. So that's why I was a little bit surprised that they were saying that this is a 100% soy wax candle, but something about this fragrance just smells a little bit off. Now, again, I'm not sure if it's their take on brown sugar because brown sugar notes can oftentimes come across scorched to my nose, but this fragrance is almost smelling like burned wax with brown sugar. um I'm not loving it, you guys, and so that's why I'm reviewing it at this point, because I am planning to declutter it. There is a part of me that is thinking of possibly sticking this in my candle crock to see if that note that I'm smelling is something that is being amplified by the flame on the wicks. We all know that there have been candles that sometimes, I know it's not just myself, but a lot of other reviewers have talked about this, that they don't necessarily like a fragrance when it is burning. Melanie is the one who I think of the most, but when they stick it in a candle crock, they get a completely different like scent experience. And so part of me is very curious, since I am planning to declutter this anyways, maybe just try sticking it in my candle crock and see how I like it then. I will probably do that after the holiday season. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do, just to conduct a little bit of an experiment. But I am going to say, I remember the original on this one. Again, it was in a 2-wick format, and I don't know if it's just that the 3 wicks here is giving it that scorched note, but something just smells off on this one, and I'm not loving it. So let's also go ahead and talk about the performance. So you can see, the funny thing is, you guys, first burn of this candle, it had very, very puny wicks. But I did decide to go ahead and push through. So this is actually the third burn. Second burn, I actually got better wick performance, and now here you can see the third burn, I'm getting better wick performance. But here's the thing. Again, I'm not loving the fragrance. I would say right now, this is not a powerhouse type of fragrance. Even now, you can see it doesn't have a very deep wax pool going on. And I've actually had this candle lit for almost 2 hours now at this point. Like my Kringles and even my caramel sundaes, by 2 hours, I've usually got a much deeper wax pool. So even though this is 3 wicks, it's not giving the wicks. I don't know. I don't know what it is. They're not burning hot enough, but they're accruing carbon at the end. They're just, I don't know. Something's just off with this. I keep going back to that, and I'm sorry to sound repetitive, but I think that that is definitely impacting the strength and throw on this candle. I'm going to give this probably about a 5 right now in terms of strength and throw. If I burn it in a closed concept bedroom in a hurricane, it fills that space pretty well. However, a fragrance like this would get lost out in my open concept. And again, right now, it's not a fragrance that I am really enjoying. So, unfortunately, you guys, I cannot really give 2 thumbs up yet to Gold Canyon. Now, I do have 2 other fragrances that I've smelled on cold sniff, and I'm like, oh yeah, these are still what I know and love. But those are definitely more like springtime fragrances. So I probably won't get around to those reviews until at least, probably early spring. The orange blossom I might be able to get out by the end of January. We'll just see. We'll see what the weather does and where my mood takes me. But yeah, you guys, hold your horses so far on Gold Canyon. I am going to say that. Hold your horses. Maybe wait for some more reviews. I know my friend Amy just did her candle empties, and she was talking about that the end of the candle on her, what was it, Days of Christmas, was a bit disappointing. So again, I'm going to say for that at the time of this review for this particular candle, I think they need to go back to the drawing board. Something seems off about this one, and they need to figure out a way, maybe go back to that original 2-wick format. I don't think that this 3-wick is going to be is going to be it. So can't really give a two thumbs up on this. I'm going to say hold your horses, wait for a few more reviews. I'll be curious to see how the orange blossom and the ginger lime perform for me. But this one, you guys, I'll keep you guys posted if I end up putting it in my candle crock and let you guys know where it goes from there. So kind of a womp womp, but I'm glad that I tried them out again. And again, it may just be this fragrance that is disappointing me, but I'll keep you guys posted on those other 2 scents. So let me know in the comment section down below if you remember Gold Canyon, or if this is a brand that is kind of on your radar, or if you're like, nah, I'm good with some other candle brands already. I don't need any new ones. I'm always curious to hear your thoughts. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. Please hit thumbs up if you found this review helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say once again, thank you very much for spending your time. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.